everyone. I'm Cindy Booz, the author of 52 Days of Grace, and I wanted to share a devotional thought this morning. Before I share a struggle that I have, I wanted to give us all a caution, and that is that we are in a war. This is not peacetime, this is wartime, and our enemy is Satan. And Satan is wily. He doesn't give up. He is very persistent, and he knows what gets under our skin. Now, that does not mean he's omniscient and he's omnipotent. He's not everywhere and he doesn't know everything. But he is a very astute student of human behavior. And I believe that he watches each one of us as followers of Christ, and he knows what will trip us up. And that's his mission, after all. His mission, as Jesus told us in John 10:10, is to steal, kill, and destroy. And he's at work doing that at all times. So what I wanted to caution us about is that we have an enemy. And as my husband likes to say, my husband is a soldier, retired soldier with the U.S. Army, and when he was on mission, he said that you could never let your guard down, because you always had to remember that there was an enemy out there on the other side that was trying to kill you. And if you let your guard down, it could mean your life, and it could mean the life of one of your buddies. So you've always got to keep your guard up, and we have to do that as well. We can never forget we have an enemy, and our enemy is always at work. So here's one of the ways that Satan tries to trip me up and get me to doubt what God is doing in my life. Now, I know that I'm his sheep and he is my shepherd. Jesus is my shepherd, as he told me in John 10, and I know his voice. He's proven this to me over and over again. Still, it's so easy for me to doubt. And here's what Satan does. I'll give you an example from yesterday. I called up a friend of mine, and after I made the call, everything went well, and it was encouraging and empowering. And as soon as I hung up almost, I started hearing these kinds of thoughts coming through my mind. They didn't come from me, they came from Satan. She thinks that you're using her. She's feeling very discouraged right now by your call. She doesn't really want to work with you, and she doesn't want to call you back. And these kind of thoughts kept going through my mind. And at first I thought, well, maybe this is God rebuking me or cautioning me, and I need to pay attention. But as I was riding in the car with my daughters later, we talked about the difference between Satan and God. And here are some of the differences. When it's Satan, you feel condemned. You feel shame. You feel guilt. You feel hopelessness. You feel like God doesn't accept you anymore, and that you kind of feel dirty, like, oh, there's something wrong. But when it's God and he rebukes us, we still feel loved, and we feel secure in that love. We feel hope, like there's a way for us to get out of this and to do better. And we also feel empowered to change. And at the base of it all, we're secure in our faith. Now, Romans 8:1 tells us that there is no condemnation for us who are in Christ Jesus. And that's the truth, that we're not condemned. When God looks at us, he sees the righteousness of Christ because of what Jesus did on the cross. And it's not based on anything that we do or don't do. It's based on what Jesus has already done. And so we know when Satan gives us those little thoughts of condemnation that it's a lie, and we need to turn from it and remember who we are in Christ. If you want to read a little bit more about Romans 8:1, about not being condemned, you can look in 52 Days of Grace on page 105, and there's a devotional thought. There's some questions that can help guide your thinking, and I just hope that this helped you, and for stopping